Yes, it's a celebration ride, a celebration of 500 subscribers. Thank you all so much for joining me on these rides. I hope you're going to enjoy this one.
Well, this is the canal. That's the canal bridge with the traffic lights on. And here's the canal. All a bit wet underfoot. See if I can find a dry bit to walk through. Just about. Let's see if I can get a view of the canal from here. More like a river.
Now just going over that canal bridge along with the traffic lights. Glorious sunshine. What a treat that is. So yes, this is a little celebration ride to celebrate 500 subscribers. I did have 501, but somebody decided to drop out. But nevertheless, 500 is quite achieved. 499 was lovely. 500 sounds nice and round number, doesn't it? Thank you all very much for riding with me. It's a pleasure to have you along.
Right, well, we've come to the canal again, a bit further along. Let's just unhook this, wander through. So I've been told by a gentleman just up there that a bit further down the lane there's a pack horse bridge. You can't ride over it, you go straight off into over into this lot. But anyway, that's the canal bridge here. Let's just move across a bit, see if I can get a better view through here. Yes, nicer view through this. I'm just walking through. And the beauty of these canals, of course, is that they're a wildlife haven. So yeah, the canal boat that was there a while ago, that's disappeared. I'll just swing around very gently. Oh yeah. Oh, lovely view, lovely canal bridge, and a lovely walk.
We're now riding in towards Boric, which is a very pretty little village. I've not really noticed it coming this direction before. I normally ride the other way, but a most attractive village green, and well worth exploring, especially in this sunshine. It looks gorgeous. Nice little seat to take your ease on. I might do that one day. Don't put it off, do it now. That's my motto. Moving out of the village, and just over on the right hand side is Boric Hall, and that's the estate wall. And the hall is still in use, but for special venues. We've got some horse riders just up ahead, and I think there must be a riding school here, because I often see them along here. That's St Mary's Church, Boric, with rather a nice lich gate. And this is Priest Hutton.
This is the village of Priest Hutton, where we have a village green, not large enough for a cricket match, but lovely nonetheless. Nice place to take your ease just there on the seat, and lovely buildings, traditional stone buildings. And traditional telephone box, though I don't think it's got anything in it. And lovely finger posts just up there. So just have a wander over, see what's inside. Anything inside? No, nothing inside.
Right, from the village of Priest Hutton we're now riding up onto another Hutton, and this is Hutton Roof, which is limestone pavement. And this little road climbs very high, and when we get to the top we'll have some views looking across to the Barwon Fells and up onto the limestone pavement. The hedges here are very high, so it's quite difficult to see what's around the corner, so you do have to be a bit wary about tractors and other vehicles coming, although most people actually drive up from the other side, which is Burton and Kendal. So fortunately it's quite narrow. You wouldn't really want to meet anyone coming the other way coming up here, and today I didn't. As you can tell, it's an extremely blustery day, and the microphones on these cameras aren't coping terribly well with it, despite my fitting a little mini windscreen to the one I use on my chest mount, made from Perspex. I think it helped a little bit, but not enough. And the handheld camera, I've fitted a little piece of fluffy stuff that you see on outdoor microphones. I fitted one of those, but it didn't cope terribly well, so I've had to mute that down when we get there and do a voiceover as I'm doing here. Here you can just see Hutton roof limestone pavement up over there. Well, you can really hear that wind bluster up here. It's so open and high. So just parking here, and that's the Barben Fells across there where we rode through when we went over towards Dent. Very nice on the horizon. Everything looks so wonderfully green, of course. And just swinging round now to have a little look at the limestone pavement of Hutton Roof. It's a nice feeling being up high. So now we're off again, and we're going to be heading off down towards Burton in Kendal. And this is where people park their cars to go walking up over on Hutton Roof, and footpaths running right over there. Off in the distance there you can see the Lakeland Fells, which are obviously some way off, but up here you can see them. It's quite a clear day, of course, because we've got this strong wind blowing. There's very little mist, so it's quite a good view. And this is a lovely little run down to Burton in Kendal, I think. Not least of which because the hedges aren't quite so high. It's dry stone wall anyway. And a bit further down you'll see that the dry stone wall is all been rebuilt. It's all collapsed, presumably because we've had such a lot of snow and ice over winter, but also I think it's been neglected. But it's an ideal opportunity for novice dry stone wallers to work. Yeah, this is where there's a couple of dry stone wallers there working away on repairing the wall, but they've got quite a job on their hands. There's an awful lot of wall along here. That bit's been restored, which looked very nice actually. And you may notice I've got my dapper brown gloves on today, it being spring. Though today you wouldn't notice it, it's pouring rain again. So it's always best to get out. If it's a bit sunny, get out. I know you working folk, you can't do that, and I remember that very well from my paid employment days. But fortunately I now have the opportunity to get out. Unfortunately I didn't have too long on the bike today because I was waiting for a delivery, so I could only spare a couple of hours out. So that's have your deliveries on a wet day. That's the best way to do it, if you possibly can. I don't often come in this direction. I normally come up from Burton in Kendal, but this is quite a pleasant little run down this way. I shall do this again. It's ideal if you haven't got too much time. It's a nice little circular run out from home. But there's only just one thing you have to be careful of, or I have to be careful of, is when you come down here, it's very easy to run off to the left here. Then there's no entry bit, just like that. So I just have to remember that. It came upon me very quickly. So we're just coming up to the major road. This is an A road which runs from Burton Kendal, which is on the left, to Crooklands on the right, and Kendal if you went far enough. And we're just going to get onto that up a little bit and then turn off to the left and run up over towards a second aqueduct. And that second aqueduct, it's the same Lancaster Canal. So the builders of that canal, I mean, a huge amount of work, because this is an even longer tunnel under the canal. This is the M6 motorway, which we're just going to run over. So despite the fact we're very close to this, you would never know, to judge by the surroundings, that when you're on a motorway you don't appreciate any of this, do you? It's just getting from one place to another very quickly, unless you get stuck in a traffic jam, of course, which is so often the case, and then you can't get off. You're stuck in there unless you've got a good talking book to listen to or something else. But yes, there's a little river on the left hand side there. Now, I've never noticed that before. Now, whether that's just come about because we've had so much rain, or if it's always been there, or it was dry, I've no idea. But that's attractive. We just come around the next corner and we'll be through that aqueduct tunnel. So at this point, I'll just say thank you very much for joining me on this celebratory ride. And I hope you've enjoyed this one in the sunshine. I'm sorry it's not as long as others, and perhaps not the rides over to beyond Denton into the Yorkshire Dales or up into the lakes, but I just haven't had the time this morning. But we will be doing that, given some decent weather. That would be a wonderful thing to do. So thank you for joining me, and I hope you see you on one of those rides again. Bye for now.